Welcome, people, to the Keeping It Real Conversation Show with Sunshine. I am your host, Camila, aka Sunshine. We are live on my Facebook page is Sunshine Camila, Kamela. We are live on Spotify. We are live on YouTube. And it's the name of the show. Please like and share and subscribe. The main purpose of my show, which has been proven over and over again, that I believe in 6 degrees of separation. You're one person away, one advice away, one help away from where you need to be in your destiny. I want to also give a shout out for the main thing, even though it's in the evening on a Wednesday night, that we are in the land of the living. It's so many things that's going on in the earth that it could have been another way. And so we're going to be definitely grateful that we're still alive, still being able to say, still command the platform that we're on, because again, it could have been another way. So I'm going to get into it for the simple fact I think this conversation has been a couple of weeks in the making, right?
Yep. Yep.
And so I definitely have been waiting for this moment tonight to talk to this man right here. I got his bio. It's so much that I'm gonna condense into.
Yes, a lot. Yeah,
It's
do
a
your
lot.
thing. Yes, a
And when
lot.
I tell y'all, this man right here and his partner have done so much work, it don't make no sense.
Right.
I didn't even know. But I have like 2 pages worth of their work that they have done, and they
Right.
getting this bag out here. You hear me? They getting this bag. They need to put me on. Hint, hint.
I got you. We got you.
So, James, aka Manny James. How you say your last name?
Sorrells.
Sorrells?
Yeah. You could just call me Manny James, though.
Manny James
Yeah, we could do that.
is the writer, musician, producer, and recording artist behind Church Street South Entertainment,
Hmm.
a label that pays homage to the housing projects where he grew up. You are currently still 43?
Yeah. Yeah.
Excuse me. And he's grown his footprint as both a producer and a music educator with Creative Hearts Incorporated, a
Hmm.
program for young musicians to learn about performance and production. He
Hmm.
operates it out of Made Sound Studios, his space at 91 Sheldon Avenue. Just that part alone
Mm.
is awesome.
Appreciate it.
Most creative people usually span in one area. And
Mhm.
because you're a writer, you're a producer, you're all of these things, I'm sure we're going to get into all of this conversation of which ones is better than the other, which one do
Mm.
you prefer, how did you get into it, and then of course the main focus of, I was just reading when I was looking you up about COVID.
Yeah.
And so we're going to get into that too.
Cool.
So, welcome everyone, Manny James, to the show.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited. When I tell you, my jaws is going to hurt probably the rest of the night. Just saying. So, when did you start? When did you realize that you had a gift?
I would say probably 8 years old. Just getting a response from my classmates, people around my community. You don't know, you just do your thing. But once people started responding to it, it was kind of like the light bulb went off. Like, yo, you might get do this for real because people really feeling what you're doing. I think that's kind of confirmed it for me to let me know like to keep on the path and keep doing what I'm doing as a creative.
Mm-hmm. And you're from what state are you from?
I'm from New Haven, Connecticut. New Haven, Connecticut.
Now, I got to be honest.
Hmm.
I ain't never met no black person from Connecticut.
And that's where everybody says, but it's a lot of black people here.
Wow.
A lot. and it's real. And it's real out here.
Wow. I
Yeah.
had no clue, no idea.
Right. You thought Yale, didn't you? You was like, Yale? Nah. That ain't even us.
Wow. Mm. Well, as we always say, as long as you're living, you're going to learn something new every day.
And I'm black. So right.
You who?
Yeah, I'm black.
You black, black?
I'm black.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
So, um, it said in here you're a writer, musician,
mhm.
producer, recording artist.
Mhm.
That's four different things right there in itself, not including being the owner of a label. So, which part could you say is your like your thing? Like I can always fall back on this, and this is my passion.
um so it's tough. I'm gonna say it's a toss up between singing and writing. I would
Okay.
say that because those are the first two things that I started to do. I started singing before I became a writer, but the writing is almost um, probably my best gift because I get to create for other people as well as myself. Singing is kind of a personal thing, it's a form of expression for me, but as a writer, I could get to do whatever for whoever. I get to be different people. So I would probably say that's my best gift or my best skill.
So you had stated earlier when you started knowing that you were gifted around 8 years old. So
Yeah.
in the process of your schooling, did you actually go into the arts?
Well, I didn't at school, but I did outside of school. Once I realized that I grew up in the hood, so we didn't have a lot of resources. We didn't have a lot of opportunities like that. So once I started making a little money, I started investing in my own dream. My parents didn't have it like that. They had a bunch of kids. They can't afford to send me to music school, and they just didn't have access to those type of programs. So, like I said, once I started getting my own little bag, I definitely studied vocal training and started self-teaching myself how to do a lot that revolved around the music industry and just becoming a better artist. So,
So, okay. So in this time frame, you don't have the money, not for
mhm.
real. You're not in a
Right,
formal
right,
education when it comes to the arts.
right.
Um, what is one of the first songs that you remember that you wrote? Was it for a girl?
It was, of course, it was for a girl. That's what I mean. It was absolutely for a girl. I don't remember the song, but I remember singing it for like some of my homies, and they were like, "You didn't write that," and I'm like, "Yeah, I did," and that kind of let me know that, okay, you might be good at this as well. I always kind of tested out who I was and what I did on the people around me, and just kind of see what their response was, because you could be gassing yourself and you could be trash.
Yeah,
So,
that's true.
I'm saying, a lot of people do that. I wanted to make sure that what I was doing was official and the other people kind of felt it too. So,
When I talk to artists, a lot of times they said that um, to avoid any embarrassments, they would enter into a lot of contests.
mhm.
They would get into um, different things to test their chops, as we call them. Did you do any of that as well?
Yeah, but I didn't do it in contest. I did it at church.
Ah,
So, if you know anything about the church is the roughest place to ever
yes.
be, ever. Like, if you ain't holding it down, people gonna look at you funny.
Uh
They're gonna
huh.
give you a look. So when I was younger, my parents, you know what I mean, they made me they basically made me go to church. They made me go to church, but it was good for me. It was like my first training ground because I'm singing and you seen how people responded to it. So there was nothing I think tougher than that. You had to have it to be singing solos in church. And
Absolutely.
or
I told that story too with getting over stage fright.
yeah.
Was the first opportunity was church when you
Mhm.
had to do those Easter speeches,
Yep.
and you had to sing.
Yep.
And
Yep.
my mother taught me this thing like look but don't look. So
Right.
it's always you pan the audience, and
Hmm.
it's that one person
You
that
stuck
you
locking
feel
on them.
comfortable and really with you. That's who you stick with. Every now and then look away, but that person, It's the person that will, calm your spirit.
Yeah.
And I tell people all the time, when I got to school, I had all of that down pat because again, church is hard.
Church is rough.
And
Church is rough.
if you can't heck it in church, wrap it up.
I mean, most of the industry now can't, but we're gonna keep it moving.
Oh Jesus, we're
We're gonna
not
keep
even
it
gonna
moving.
go there.
We're gonna keep it moving. Well, here's the other thing about the church. The church, to me, taught you how to connect to the soul in music.
Yeah,
Gospel, soul music, jazz, even hip hop elements. This all stemmed from that. For me, the type of music that I create always has soul, and I think that originated from the church. Even if you think about Sam Cooke and James Brown and a lot of these older singers, that's how they started. That's how they
in the
started.
church.
That's where they
Yeah,
got the soul from. You know what I
it
mean?
comes across even in their as we call their runs
Yep, yep,
and
yep, yep,
all of those movements and all of that stuff. All of that came from the church
yep.
choir.
That's where it got from. Because again, if you was bad in church, like they wasn't rocking with you, then like you're not getting another solo for the next 3-4 years. But if you was right, you good, you good.
Yeah. And so we know your first song was to a girl.
Yeah, absolutely. Always about the ladies.
So did the girl respond the way you wanted her to?
She loved me. What do you mean? Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I'm young. You know what I mean? It was the 80s and Troop is out and the audition is out and
Yeah,
it just had that type of energy. And that's I definitely used it to my advantage, we'll say, growing up.
absolutely. So with that being said, as the writer,
Mhm.
the musician, so what instruments do you play?
I play the keys a little bit. I'm more of a music programmer. I produce, but I normally like I'll create something and then I'll get one of my friends who's more skilled at it, you know what I mean? And then that's how we'll create it. But I just pretty much lay the foundation down for all of my music. But I can play enough to do what I need to do to get the ideas out. So
Got you. Um, so with you being in the studio a lot, are
mhm.
you more of a do you prefer the studio or would you like a live band?
Live band, there's nothing like that energy. I have a band. My band is called So Eclectic, and as much as I like to be in the studio create, there's nothing like the live band. Being able to improvise and just vibe off the people, and just that energy and it's almost like you get lost in it. In the studio, it's kind of like you got to stick to whatever you're trying to create. But in live, you can take it wherever. And there's nothing like that energy. So I always prefer the live band.
Okay. So when were you discovered as a recording artist?
That's a good question. I've probably been working with people since I was a teenager. But I think I got my first real opportunity in my 20s, where one of my friends, who's actually Pierre Midor, actually just he got Usher's current single. We kind of collabed and decided to put out my first single, and that kind of started opening the doors for more of a professional recording career. But I have been working with people in my teenage years. Nobody that really did what they were supposed to do with my talent, but in my 20s, absolutely.
Okay. Um, so one of the shows that I love, I tell people this all the time. I
Yeah,
love Unsung
yeah,
on TV1,
yeah.
and I love Nori. Don't get mad at me. Is it Drink Champs? Drink Champs on
Okay.
YouTube with Noriega, the rapper.
Yeah, yeah. Drink champs, drink champs.
There you go.
Yeah, yeah, drink champs.
So
Mhm.
I like these two shows for the simple fact that you learn history
About people.
that most likely you wouldn't get on just a regular conversation or behind the scenes things that we did not know
Right,
while these things were happening.
right.
So, one of the things that I have learned about the music industry
Mhm.
is make sure your contract's right.
Always.
So, do you have any of those contract issues that
I don't because I'm an asshole when it comes to that.
you said what?
I'm an asshole when it
Oh,
comes.
okay. Now I'm like, did he say what I thought he
Yeah,
said? Okay.
listen. Um, I never felt like I needed. I've had opportunities to sign contract with people, record deals, whatever have you. But for me, I wanted to sign with someone that I knew was honest, was we had the same moral values and the same standards. So my only real contract that I've signed was with my former label, Fred Sargalini FS, and Patriarch Recordings, and that was a solid deal. I knew everything that I was getting into. I was good with it. We was good with it, and it was a dope partnership. It was more of a partnership than me being an artist.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, we noticed in the first part where you said that you created the Church Street South Entertainment,
Mm-hmm.
which is a label that you
Mm-hmm.
currently have now, right?
Yeah.
And it said it paid homage to your hometown,
Yeah.
the projects and things of that nature. And how did you come up with that?
I mean, that's where the dream started. Everything, a lot of who I am as a man, a lot of who I am as a creative, as a business owner, as the CEO of the nonprofit, all of that stemmed from that area. Those experiences, those people, those relationships, all of that laid the foundation for what I'm doing now. So it was only right that I paid homage to it. And as a reminder to never forget where you came from.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? People
We
do that.
always have this conversation also that the village, it takes a village
Facts.
to raise a child.
Right. Right.
And I feel like our area might have been the last of
Mm-hmm.
the village
Mm-hmm.
when it came to raising us, people
Mm-hmm.
who was really concerned about you,
Mm-hmm.
without any handout or any other reasoning but to care. That was
Right.
our neighbors,
Right.
our school, our church, definitely, and our
Mm-hmm.
family. That
Right.
was the whole circle.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that being said, what are some things that you missed about the village?
Everything. To your point, I just feel like people don't care anymore. When I grew up, literally everybody looked out for you. Like the people that were quote unquote um, toxic to the community, we'll say, was some of the best people I ever met in my life. They looked out for me. They looked out for my family. They paid, you know what I'm saying? Like bought people groceries. They paid people bills. I just miss that energy. I miss people literally wanting each other to succeed. And it just now it's like everybody for self. Everybody's trying to take advantage of the next person. Nobody really looking out for each other. The kids don't got nobody looking out for them. I miss it all. I mean, would I live in the projects again? No, but I wouldn't mind being in around them same people again.
Absolutely. And I agree to that. It was a point where we knew on the block who was the elder, especially in my
Right.
grandma's neighborhood. All the boys were outside shoveling snow. All the boys were out taking out the trash to somebody
Carrying
else's house.
groceries, all of that,
Yeah.
all of
And
that. Yep.
it wasn't just the boy thing, it was the girls, get the grocery list, go to the store,
Mhm.
all of these things where we, again, like you said, we stopped caring. It began mine, and that's it.
Mhm.
Um, and these kids today are missing out on supervised love.
Mhm.
There was no moment where I had to be hungry. That
Right.
was my choice.
Right. Right.
There was plenty of places I could go to get food or
Yep.
chill out
Yep.
or whatever.
Mhm.
And it was also the trust issue. When it
Mhm.
comes to music, that's like our baby.
Mhm.
It's that moment where you write a song, you sing a song, and it's all from your heart. Most
Mhm.
of it is experiences that you have, or
Mhm.
even in your fantasy
Mhm.
of what you want to happen, what you want to see.
Right.
And is that the same feeling for you? I know for me, that's definitely it.
Absolutely. I'm very appreciative of the support I get. And here's why, because when I create music, I don't create it for anyone else. I just create it from a real space. Whatever it does, it does. So when people say it's their favorite song, or I'm at a concert or a show and they're singing the lyrics to my song, it is unbelievable because you never know people going to like your music or not. And
Yeah.
I literally don't create it for anything other than to express whatever's in my head and whatever's in my heart. So it's definitely my baby. Every song that I've created has been a child, I would say. Absolutely.
I also read
Hmm.
um that you have a lot of experience in commercials,
Yeah.
movies,
Yeah. Yeah. We've done a few things.
a few.
A few. I mean,
Um, we're being humble right now.
I mean, that's what I'll say. I'll say the biggest one to date has been the football NFL Visa football commercial. I think it went like 4.6 million YouTube views in a week. Literally, I was watching it, and in a couple of days, it was viral. Um, which was pretty huge because it's NFL and it's Visa, and your voice is on everybody's TV, and all my friends are calling me, and people got their hand out, and it was just crazy. It was crazy.
So how does that go? Like you submit a song and they choose it, or you had a theme in your head and was like, okay, let me go with it.
So this is how it went. So my past label, Patriarch, we got a call from the producer, me and my partner George and AB, and he was like, "We got opportunity for a possible NFL Visa commercial." So I hit him. I'm gonna tell you just how it went. So I was out, and I was like, "All right, I'm coming through. Give me like an hour. Make sure you got some Ciroc because I need a drink. I needed to drink." So that's how it started. So we sitting there. He sent the beat over. We sitting there, and I just started writing. And probably 45 minutes it took to write the song. Like it just went. We sent it back. They liked it. They was like, "Can you add some more?" We did that. Sent it back a couple of times. Made a couple of tweaks, and they was like, "We loved it."
So
And next
how
thing,
long was the actual song?
45 seconds, a minute, if that.
Wait, what?
For like, and it was viral in a week. And the worst part about it is it was Julio Jones, who used to play for the Falcons. I don't know he played for now because I don't watch football anymore. But he broke his ankle the same week the commercial debut. So had he not broke his ankle, it would have probably did 50 to 60 million easily.
Wow. Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. It was a pretty big
well, we
deal.
already I kind of threw it out there. I already told AB too, like, yeah, y'all got to put me on
Yeah.
to the bags.
We working. We working. We working.
You got to
We
help
in
me get to the bags.
we in these streets trying to get it. For real.
Oh, for sure. Um, so we talked about the list that I saw was, listen, everyone, is ridiculous.
Right.
Stuff I have never even heard of, didn't know. There's
Right.
Netflix shows, there's commercials.
Mailbox money.
When I say the bags,
Yeah. Mailbox money. We call that.
I'm like, y'all seen Scrooge, the cartoons, with the
Mhm.
ducks, and he's in the room with the sitting on coins.
Dropping it
Yeah,
down.
I'm just saying. So, not that I was trying to calculate your money, but
Yeah.
it
Listen, I
looks
get it.
kind of hefty.
I get it.
So I want to also get into both being a producer and a music educator
Hmm.
at Creative Hearts Incorporated. So
Hmm.
what was the idea of giving back to the kids?
Um, I just wanted to give them what I wish I would have had when I was their age.
Absolutely.
Growing up in the hood, growing up in disenfranchised neighborhood, not only do you not have the resources, people judge you, they look down on you, they assume at the worst of you, they say you're not gonna make it, you're not gonna be shit. Like I heard all of that growing up. You know what I mean? Like, and then I granted, I I I, I had some struggles in school, but when you in that environment, there's a lot of things pulling at you. So I wasn't always the best student, but I also didn't have people who believed in me a lot. And like I'm not outside of my community, like in the community, in schools and those type of places, people they were quick to judge you if you're from the projects. You bad, you dumb, all that other stuff. So being a creative, I wish that I had access to um, a space to really grow in my art, a space to be where people really believed in me and really pushed me to be great in my music, and really just explore every avenue, every facet of my creativity. And I didn't. So once I got to the place where I had did some things myself, gained a lot of resources, and I was in a position to provide those resources to other people, created creative arts.
And that's good. It's really, really commendable.
Thank you.
This is one of the things I think in our youth we had
Hmm.
like 4-H and Girl
Hmm.
Scouts and
Hmm. I've done
um,
4-H. Yeah.
all of that. And
Hmm.
so for me, a lot of things didn't develop like I wanted to until I was older.
Right.
It was always there. It
Right.
wasn't a focus though. I was more into sports than I was other things.
Right.
And sometimes things happen in life where it causes you to write. It causes you to sing out more
Mm.
than being in the shadows, than, you know, taking the back seat to other people when
Yeah.
you're supposed to be in the front. But
Hmm.
however, um, the other thing that I really wanted to get into was something that we both have in common, and that was dealing with COVID.
Yeah.
Um, when it first came out,
Mm.
I had it in that March. And the reason why I knew something was wrong, I know they were talking about it, and it was
Right.
a little education about it.
Hmm.
This is when they wasn't even really testing you for real. Um, I was at the post office working. I came home one night, and the next day I woke up and I was like, my body felt like I had several rounds with Mike Tyson.
Hmm.
And I said, something is not right. What do I need to do? I went to 2 different hospitals. They're like, yes, you showing symptoms, quarantine yourself. And at that time it was 14 days.
Right.
Um, I was like, okay. So day 2, day 3, this is when I um lost the taste, the smell. I had major headaches like crazy. Like
Right
to
here.
this day, I haven't had no headache like that before.
Hmm.
Um, and so I was constant. I don't remember coughing that much, but everything else was enough by itself. And so I just, treated myself like I had the flu times 100.
Hmm.
And maybe day 8, day 9, maybe is when it started turning around for me. So I'm reading this and I'm like, oh my God, he had it too.
Hmm.
So tell me about your bout with COVID.
The crazy thing is, um, I got it at the same time. March 20th is when I got it of 2020. When I went and got tested, just like you, they was like, "Oh, we think it's the flu, but we don't know." They didn't have, they wasn't on it. They wasn't
Yeah.
informing them with the testing. I'm like, oh, this don't feel like the flu. I had the flu before. I went home and I've never felt like that. When people ask me what it felt like, I'm like, it felt like I was close to death. Yeah, I'm not even going. There's no other way to describe it. I've never been that sick. I was sick for like 3 weeks, and everything on me hurt. My eyelids, my fingertips. Like I tried to eat a. I remember trying to eat a peanut butter jelly sandwich. It tasted like barbecue. I was like, what the hell is
Yes, it
this?
was horrible.
It was terrible. Yo, it was terrible. I had a headache every single day, the entire time. The only thing that I didn't get, there was something else that I didn't lose I didn't lose my sense of smell, but everything else, I did. I would just sleep on the floor. I just couldn't get up. I was weak. It was the worst thing that I've ever felt in my life. And I think honestly, what helped me is I didn't know it was COVID. In my mind, because we didn't know at the time, I'm just thinking it's the flu. Had I known it was COVID, mentally it probably would have messed with me a little
Probably
bit.
took you out. Yeah.
Yeah, like yo, you about to check out. Um,
Yeah.
and the other worst part about it is from that period on, I've stopped counting. But I've lost a ton of people from it, a lot, like just way too many double digits. Um, and it's been devastating. It's been devastating for my family. It's been devastating for other people in the community. It's been devastating to see that people aren't taking it as serious with the theories and the government and all this other crazy bullshit. I'm over it. I'm COVID fatigued. It was a traumatic experience for me and everybody around me. So yeah.
I had to, one of the things, and we're going to get into what you did to help others.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I had the hardest thing. I won't even say the hardest thing. It was my mandate for me
Mm-hmm.
to, when I had the symptoms, I went on Facebook, I went on social media, and I began to tell the things that you can do to heal yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, these are the symptoms that I had. This is what I took,
Mm-hmm.
and I got better. I had a friend, very close sister. She ended up getting it, and the first thing was she was panicking because of
Mm-hmm.
what we saw and what we heard. That automatically, if you get COVID, you're dying. That's it.
Yeah.
The
But
period
it
is
was not
done.
real, right?
I said, I want you to realize something. Are you talking to me? And she was like,
Right.
yeah. So that means I survived. And so are you. And so I walked her through the COVID and then turned around. Both her children end up having it at separate times, back to back, actually. And so it was a real thing. I don't know why people put out that it's a myth thing, it's this, and that. I'm like, no. And even to this day, I just left working in a health clinic and I seen 6-month-old babies, 7-month-old babies with COVID.
Yeah.
And it's the awareness time, like seriously. So
No, it's
what are you doing, or what did you do to help with COVID issues?
similar to you. I shared with a lot of people what it felt like after as well. Because and I didn't realize it. I work out a lot. I try to work out consistently, I'll say. Um, and I just remember after feeling like I almost had asthma. Like one day I would be fine, and another day, like my breathing was terrible. Like I was like, I can't even work out. So just trying to give people idea what to look for. Um, and ironically, I didn't have breathing issues during the COVID, but after I did. So I was just trying to educate people, share people what I did to get better. Um, you know, losing people and having conversation with people who were losing people at the same time and just trying to be there for them and comfort them. The other thing that I did was, as a creative, I realized during that time that a lot of people were like depressed and sad and just because we were all stuck in the house, we couldn't go nowhere.
Yeah,
Like, you know what I mean? It was like the Twilight Zone. She was crazy. It felt like people was like it's zombies outside. It was just wild. So what
yeah.
I did was I got a couple of my friends, and I'm actually in my studio now, and we came in my studio, and we just went live and put on a little performance. And
Okay.
the feedback that I got from a lot of people is just like, yo, you don't know how much I needed that just to lift my spirits up because people have been trapped in a house. You know what I mean? Like people was losing their job. It's just a depressed. It's still a depressing time. Like we talk about it as if a lot of people talk about it as if it's done, but it's not. It's still very bad. It's still people are still going through it mentally. I'm not even, I'm not a person who gets nervous about much, but this COVID thing definitely changed my perception of germs, of washing your hands, of hand sanitizer. Like I'm different now because I had it. I've been through it. I've lost a lot of people to it, and I think people. I've just tried to let people know it's real, and you can protect yourself and be smart, and don't be out here with no mask on. You know what I'm saying, in the clubs partying, just doing anything because you might not catch it, or you might be asymptomatic and might give it to somebody and it take them out, and that's not something you want to live with.
One of the main conversations I had right before Christmas is like it only
Mm-hmm.
takes one person to affect your whole household. You, on the other hand, know how you move and operate, but other people you don't. I knew people who knew they had it and was still going around for Christmas, things of that nature. Like, really? We knew people were still partying. We're looking at their pictures on Facebook, like your whole family all geared up in pajamas,
Yeah.
None of y'all
They
had
lit. They
masks
lit.
on.
Nope. Right.
So
Right.
there it is. And I said, "Oh God, here come New Year's."
Mm-hmm.
And the numbers,
The spike.
Michigan, where I live, is one of the top ones right now. And
Mm-hmm.
so a lot of times sometimes we don't believe that fat meat is greasy, as my grandma would say, until
Right.
you get it.
Right.
And we don't want people to be like that. Of course, we're not putting on, hey, go get the vaccine. I would prefer you do, but I can't
Right.
tell you to do it.
Well,
Yes, I've done it. I've got my booster. I got every shot because I work in the health department. So
right.
again, you have to make sure not only for yourself, but the people around you. I take care of
Mm-hmm.
a mother who has underlying
Yep.
conditions.
Health.
Therefore, I stay away unless she needs me because again, I'm the
Mm-hmm.
one going out. I would hate for I have to bring this home to my mother. And so also I know I read about the vaccination drive you did.
So what happened was, I was I'm an anti-vaxxer normally. I've never had a flu shot. I've never had any vaccination as an adult ever. Just not what I did. Um, so I was getting a lot of feedback. You're not going to do it. Are you going to do it? And for me, I felt like if I did it, it would say to other people as an influence, as somebody who has a platform, as somebody who's a creative, and people tend to follow some of the things that I say and do because they know I'm coming from a real place. I felt like that if I did it, then other people will consider it, and other people and did actually consider it. So I actually did it live on Facebook, and I showed them getting a shot, that big ass needle, um you know what I'm saying, in my arm, and they were like, wow, you actually got vaccinated. I'm like, yeah, I did it for my family. I didn't do it for me. It wasn't about me, and how I feel and what I think about the government, because I'm not someone who trusts everything. It's just not, for my own personal reasons. But this, I felt like, was what we needed to do to protect the people in our community, to protect the people you love the most. So that's what I did, and I'm actually going to eventually go get the booster as soon as I can figure out as well, and I'm doing that
Six
as well.
months from your second one.
Yeah, yeah, I'm doing that as well. So again, and it's not about me. It's not about my personal feelings. And I think that's what people going wrong. Everybody's like, "Well, I feel, I feel." I'm like, it's not about you. The vaccine is literally to protect the people around you. Don't be selfish, because that's what you're being. Like, don't be selfish. Protect other people around you, or not. And when they get sick, I don't want to hear it.
And I want to put this disclosure out here. Just because you get vaccinated does not mean you won't get it. It
Yeah,
just
because I
won't
had
be
it
as
again.
bad if you didn't have it.
I had it
I
twice.
don't wish
Right,
COVID on nobody.
right,
It's not a good feeling at all.
right. And the
um,
vaccine helped my second time around. Like, it was way easier to deal with. I was
yeah,
good in like 2 days.
absolutely. So you had COVID twice?
Hmm.
Did you just say that?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Recently, like 3 weeks ago.
What?
Yep.
So can I ask what were you doing? Like, do you know
Yeah,
you
I
were
do. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. Somebody brought it to me. I didn't know. It wasn't one of them.
oh,
No, I don't go out. I'm not in the streets. I don't do any of that. If I go to the club, or if I'm going in there to sit at the bar by the end by myself, grab some food, grab a drink, got my mask on, my hand sanitizer in my pocket. I'm not dapping nobody, you getting an elbow, and I'm out. But it wasn't none of that. It's somebody brought it to me. So, and I work in the school system too, so it was going around there. It's just the spike. It was during the spike. And I'm in Connecticut. We went from 4% to 22% in like 2 weeks.
I'm not even gonna tell you what our numbers was.
Right. Right.
So, well, I appreciate mm, you taking a moment for
Hmm.
the COVID situation, the vaccines,
Hmm.
to giving back to the children, to
Hmm.
putting wonderful music out here. Um, AB put out or sent to me some music,
Okay.
and
Okay.
I listened, and it actually put me in the feel of an old school. I want to say it was My Joy, a
Okay.
Joy.
Yeah. Joy song.
That song
Mhm.
reminded me of a moment me and my father shared.
Mm.
My dad was the first one to teach me how to ballroom dance or social.
Okay.
And so I remember listening to the song, and it put me in the mindset of being in the living room with my dad, stepping
Mm.
on his feet as he moved me around the room as if I was really socially.
Right.
Um, and I was like, wow, this is a music of timeless hits. It
Mm.
takes you back to
Mm.
not just when you were a kid, but those moments when love was love.
Right.
If that makes sense.
That does make sense.
Um, when you love to stay outside and
Mm.
especially at nighttime, look at the star. I can't even remember the last time I saw a star.
Mm-hmm.
Um, look up and be in front of the house when the street lights came on. Be
Enjoy
on
life.
your porch,
Yep. Yep.
um, or during the day, just really enjoying childhood,
Right.
enjoying growing up, being in a space of real freedom,
Right.
what we thought was freedom.
Right.
Um, and I thank you for those moments of transparency in your words, transparency even in the
Mm-hmm.
music that you chose. It paints a picture of actually who you are.
Mm.
And so, with all that being said,
Mm.
I still got time, but is your pipes all together now?
Me. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
You can
And
sing whatever you want to sing.
I'm actually going to do a little bit of that, but I want to give you a quick background on that song,
Okay.
which is amazing that it brings you to that memory, because I actually wrote that about my children.
Mm,
The first verse is about my daughter, and the second verse is about my son. So that's the inspiration behind it. My children, my babies, and just wanting to leave them something. Um, when I'm gone, they'll have that to say, "This is how my dad felt about me."
mm.
So that's why I created the song. Don't cry,
I'm not gonna.
please.
I'm trying to drink some water. Okay,
Okay,
I'm trying not to cry.
I'm gonna do a little bit of that. You came in like a star, star, shooting across the sky. Feels like I landed on heaven gate, baby. First time I looked into your eyes, yeah, yeah. You were everything I didn't know I needed, baby. Mm-mm. And I thank God for you. You elevated my entire being, baby. No spoken word has ever been more true. Yeah. And you bring me joy. Wow, baby. You, you bring me joy. Said I love my baby. You, you bring me joy. Joy. And you bring me joy. Joy song. And my daughter's name is Joy.
Your mother?
My daughter's name is
Oh,
Joy.
your daughter's name is Joy. Mm.
Yes. Yes.
Well,
Yeah. So yeah. And that story tells, it literally tells how she came into this world, and the feeling that I got the first time that I saw her.
wow, that was
Yeah.
deep. for
Yeah,
sure.
it's real.
Wow. But you definitely got the church runs, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's the Sam in me. I mean, I'm a huge Sam Cooke fan, so
Mm.
that's a lot of that influence. But I'm also '90s heavy R&B, New Edition, Bobby Brown, all of that, all of that.
I was just gonna ask, like, if you had a chance to collaborate with anyone, like dead or alive, who would it
Mm.
be?
Can I name two people?
Yeah.
Okay, I actually it's three.
Uh,
It's my first baby mama, Whitney Houston. It would definitely be her.
Yo, wait.
Yeah,
What?
that's
Did you
my
say your first baby mama?
that's, uh, that's my boo. That's my boo. Yeah.
Woo! Okay.
Absolutely, Whitney. It would be Sam,
Mhm.
and it would be the greatest of all time, Michael Joseph Jackson.
Okay.
That's a lot more, but those are my top three.
Wow. Your baby mama Whitney Houston. Mm.
Yeah, that's my baby mama. And in the '80s, you was there. Whitney was the one. No, don't hate on. You hating on
I'm
Whitney?
not going. I'm
I feel
listen.
like you hating on Whitney on the low.
I'm what?
You hating on Whitney on the low.
No.
Okay, okay,
Listen. I'm gonna be honest.
okay.
The album, um, with I want to dance with somebody.
Yeah. Whitney. The album was called Whitney.
There you go. So that one was my classic. The other
Okay.
ones were I could pick one or two from the album. I mean, from the album itself. And then you have, those punt retros from the Bodyguard soundtrack.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But there were skips. And
Right.
so I mean, yeah, but
I'm not necessarily talking about her music though. I'm talking about her voice.
her. Oh,
And her voice. And I understand why you say that because if you remember in the '80s, those were pop records. We weren't into pop.
yeah.
And black people didn't really support Whitney like that then because we felt like she was a sellout a little bit.
Well, I can appreciate the honesty and the truth. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say this:
Mm-hmm.
Mariah Carey's Vision album was the
Right.
best one to me
Absolutely.
because she was genuine, she was hungry, and all this stuff. And this is before pre boobs.
Right.
Because if
Right.
you look back at it, she didn't look nothing.
I know she was a board. Boop.
Yeah, boom, with long
Right. Right.
wavy hair.
Flat as everything. Right.
So yeah.
Right.
And then it was just different transitions. But for me,
Mhm.
I love gospel and I love R&B.
Right.
But there's some people like a Kim Burrell. I love Jasmine Sullivan.
Mm-hmm.
Just because
Mm-hmm.
of
Mm-hmm.
this last album, kind of be like, okay, where was you at, honey?
I didn't like it. I didn't like it, but that's just me. I love her.
Listen,
I didn't like it. I
it
love
was
it.
some deep conversations. Like, wait, are you
It
telling
wasn't
me
for me.
that?
Okay. It wasn't for me. It wasn't
Yeah.
for me. Right.
So there's a mixture of different voices. I think for me, it's more so the bottom range, jazzy kind of.
Lower raspy.
Yeah, that's me all day.
Right.
So those type of singers, and for with Kim can take you to church,
Mm-hmm.
but she can jazz, she can sing with the best of them.
She's more jazz than church, though. Like people don't
Yeah,
understand.
nowadays.
Yeah, she's more jazz than church. Right.
Yeah, so she's one of those people that can cross over.
Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely.
and so those type of people, of course, Anita Baker,
Layla.
it is so many.
Yeah.
Um, in my household, my mom listened to Natalie Cole. She listened to Whitney.
Mm,
Um, she didn't do Aretha too much, so
yeah.
that ain't my. I like it for the theme songs that came or whatever. But I wasn't I wasn't a big Aretha Franklin song.
But
Um,
Whitney again, it was her voice though. I'm not like I love her songs, but I loved her songs because of her voice. Like one of my favorite songs for her to sing isn't even hers. It's I Love the Lord by Richard Smallwood from the Preacher's
yeah,
Wife sound. Or
yes,
I Believe in You and Me by the Four Tops.
yes.
That's you know what I'm saying? Like to hear her sing that, chills. Here on my arm standing up, she was the greatest for me.
If you would have caught me yesterday, I probably could have sang it for you.
See, I'm gonna call you tomorrow.
That was
I'm gonna call you tomorrow. We zooming again tomorrow. Part two. Part two. That's my song. And I don't, it's funny. I'm running out of time on my computer. My battery's dying. But even with the church music, I don't listen to church music now because it doesn't make me feel like church music did a long time ago. I just feel
you
like it's
know
just
who I would love to hear you do a duet with, and I'm not trying to be funny.
oh
Um, Al Green.
oh I love Al. He's one of my biggest influences.
Hmm.
I cover some of his songs like Simply
I
Beautiful.
just heard
Let's
that just
Come
now. I'm like,
Together.
ooh,
Oh
that
yeah,
would be.
yeah. I love
If
Al.
Teddy Pendergrass was alive, yes.
And Teddy P, that's my guy too. Latest greatest inspiration. See, these are all my influences. You probably that's why you hear that. Like these are all the people that I'm influenced by. Teddy P was a bad man.
Um, what was I about to say? I don't know now. I'm still
I just
stuck on the inspiration people.
yeah.
Um, I hope you having a good time. You having a good time?
I did. It's pretty cool in here. I like the vibes. It's good energy. You good
I
people.
I try to be, make sure that people are comfortable, especially in their own space. Like your
Right.
cousin that you didn't know you knew. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Thanks. Right.
So I'm looking forward to actually meeting you guys in person.
Mm,
Um, since you are connected with Miss Cookie.
yeah.
Um, and so this is the season for us to connect and push.
Right.
We have to talk afterwards
Yeah.
so I can get to the bag too.
Yeah. No, get to the bag. It's out there. It's out there.
Um, and so a lot of times it's this moment of celebrating while you're still here.
Mm-hmm.
Again, the 6 degrees of separation is a real thing.
Right.
I would have never met you if I never
Right.
met Miss Cookie. And for
Mm-hmm.
her to say, yeah, these some dope brothers.
Right.
Um, this who you need to talk to. And
Mm-hmm.
there's the thing of exposure that some people might have never heard of you.
Right.
And now they have a space of, look, let me find out how to get in touch with him, how to get his music, how to, those things. So again, I thank you. I know you're a busy man, putting all these great products out here in the earth, that you came and talked to us. Is there anything else that you want to say? Sing something else while you.
Yeah, I want to say thank you for having me. I appreciate it. It's been pretty dope. This was good. This was a good show. Also, I want to say, quick little thing that I like to add. As an independent artist, everyone talks about streaming, um, and how important streaming is. Streaming is important for the look. It's important for credentials. But as an independent artist, the best thing you can do to support independent artists is to buy their music. When we create records, find a way to buy it, whether it's Amazon, whether it's iTunes, buy the music because that money comes directly to us. The perfect example would be, and I can't think of the exact number, but I want to say it's like 200 streams to make $1. When
Manny?
yes, when if you bought my music, if I put a record out and it's 99 cents, you pay the 99 cent, I get the 99 cent. If you buy 10 of my songs, I get the $10. It's an important conversation to have, and maybe we can follow with that another time because a lot of people don't know how this works. But as an independent artist on the inside, I'm going to say to everyone listening, watching, whatever, if you really like somebody's music, not me, whoever it is, make sure you support them by purchasing their music. That would really go much further than streaming. You can stream it too, but as far as really supporting them and putting money in their pocket and supporting their families, the best way you can do that is to purchase their music. So, but thank you. I appreciate it. Follow me on Instagram, www.instagram.com, The Real Manny James, Facebook, Manny James Music Life, Twitter, Manny James Music, TikTok. Yeah, I'm on TikTok. Manny James 19. And that's it. Much love. Y'all be safe.
What was I about to say? Oh, one more thing.
Okay.
What is something that most people would not know about you? Like something you like, something you don't like, something you enjoy to do?
Oh, okay. I am a basketball fanatic, specifically the Boston Celtics. That is my team. If you walk in front of
Boston Celtics.
Boston Celtics, if you walk in front of TV or you're talking to me in front of the game, I might throw something at your ass. I'm just being honest.
So are we talking Boston Celtics now or when like Larry Bird and them was playing?
Then and now. Then and now. My game is on right now, and I took the time out to talk to you. But as soon as I leave here, I'm going home to watch my game because I
I'm
need that.
special.
Yeah, yes, you are. Yes, you are. Absolutely.
So everybody flood his Instagram, everything with Boston Celtics stuff so he
Yes.
can feel special.
Yeah, facts.
So you can feel special. So I'm gonna let you go so you can watch your game. I hope your team wins tonight. And because you're a basketball fan, you already know what's coming down the pipe, right?
What's that?
The black top, street ball,
Say it
you know,
again.
and one,
Say it one more time.
you know, and one,
Of
main
course.
event,
Of
hot
course.
sauce, all of them.
Yeah. Main event on them, yeah.
So they're coming back out.
Dope.
And so because I know that you like basketball,
Facts.
keep that in mind
Yeah.
because it's gonna be super huge. We might need a theme song. Who knows?
Oh, I'm on it. I actually follow main event and a couple of them on the gram anyway.
He was on here tonight. If you didn't know,
I've met. Say it again.
he was on here tonight.
Oh, I didn't know that word.
Yeah, he was on here.
Yeah, he's dope. He was actually one of my favorite players because he had crazy hops.
I'm so
I just
glad
like
you said that.
Yeah, I just like the way he played the game. He's solid.
Yeah, he's making some big moves. This time he's gonna be the owner. He's gonna be
as he should.
And
Yep.
so again, that's my big bro. And
Solid.
so again, I have to tell you about it later. But
Yeah.
however, now that I know this, this is great. So again, get to your game, be safe, continue to be safe, sir. We don't need you to have COVID again. You hear me?
I'm good. I'm a bubble wrap my ass myself when I get home.
Okay. Because you don't want me to have to come to Connecticut.
Nah, I don't want no smoke.
So anyway, I'll send you the video from tonight.
Okay.
So you can repost however you want to. Again, I want everybody to support my newfound friend who can sing his butt off.
Yeah.
Manny James.
Yeah. Y'all enjoy yourself, man. Be safe out there.
All right. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Later.
All right. Bye.